Welcome back to my channel for another Noctilux-M 35mm episode. And in my introductory video, I promised that I will go out and shoot this lens at night, which is what I'm going to do today. And in the introductory video on this new Noctilux lens, as well as on my video where I mounted the Leica L Pro 52 on that lens for close-up shooting, I had the lens mounted on my Leica SL3 with an M to L adapter. Now it's really time to take this lens one step further and mount it on the proper M camera, in this case on my Leica M11-P Safari. And I scouted a nice spot some time back, a nice location, which is outside of Zurich, but still overlooking Lake Zurich. And today I will take my Leica M11-P with the new Noctilux-M 35mm out and will shoot in the blue hour and a little bit beyond. Let's kick this off. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please do so. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, support my work. Many thanks for that. All right, before I hop into the car, let me make a few remarks how I want to shoot that lens. And first of all, I will shoot at the ISO of 64. So I dial this in here. And then for long exposures, you go here on the shutter speed dial. You basically go into B. Here we go. That's the B. And then in the menu, I can tap on here and can move this freely. You see, and I will shoot very likely with 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 seconds, something like that. And I can dial this in here. I can also use the control element here, the 4-directional one. That's sometimes a bit easier than touch functionality. I will shoot only DNGs this time, which is unusual for me. Normally I shoot both DNG and JPEG for a quick preview, but I'm pretty sure that the images will turn out to be fine. So I only have DNG here, and I will shoot, of course, in the full resolution of 60 megapixel. And white balance, I mentioned that in a video about the new firmware 2.6.0 of Leica M11 cameras. I typically keep at auto white balance. And I will also not use the white balance adjustment, where I just posted a video about it. I will very likely just do any correction to white balance, temperature, color, what have you, in post-processing. I forgot to mention, my sample images will not yet have a profile in my Leica M camera, because the day I'm shooting this is still more than a couple of weeks away from the official announcement of the lens. And you will not find that profile in my Leica M11-P. And I'm going to show you, let's switch this off for a moment. Let's unmount the lens. If we look here, then there is no lens mounted. You will see this. It says very clearly here, no lens. Let's mount the lens. And I believe since I'm in auto mode on lens detection, it might tell me that this is an unknown lens. Let's see. Booting up. No, it decides for a 21mm f2.8. That's interesting. Let's go into lens detection. And it just picks that lens. So it thinks it's shooting a 21mm lens, but it's shooting actually a Noctilux 35. And if I'm going to auto, it still insists in that. Look at that. I can go to off. Then lens detection is off. This is very likely the setting I will use here. I will not use any other Leica M lens profile. So the images you will see when I later show you what I shot in the evening tonight, they will not have any in-camera corrections, because I will shoot them at lens detection off. But in auto mode, it automatically switches to something else. Let's see. It says 21mm f2.8. That's interesting. And if I go back here and look into the lens detection list on manual M lenses, of course, this lens is not available here. So I will just switch this off. And that also means you get the images naked out of camera. No Leica firmware voodoo going on, no correction of distortions, nothing going on the edges, because typically Leica M cameras, if they know what lens is mounted, they try to provide some first shot corrections here. That will not happen this time, so the images will be as they are with the naked optics of this Noctilux 35mm. And that is basically the way I'm going to do this. And it will be a bit of a way with my car. I will also provide some clips from the drive to the location, will take you with me to that shooting. Then I'll deliver the job there. We'll get hopefully some nice night exposures. And then I go back in the studio. We'll develop the images in Lightroom Classic and discuss them with you. All right, here are the images I want to show you. And I must say, when I came home and had a first look at the footage, I was blown away. This lens is absolutely breathtaking on my Leica M11-P Safari. And you will see in a moment. And from the first frame here, I will work my way through to longer and longer exposure times. So this is a 3-second exposure. And forget about the aperture. This was shot at an f5.6. ISO 64, which is the base ISO of the Leica M11-P. And it says here in the metadata uncoded lens. I mentioned that the lens profile was not yet in my Leica M11-P at the point in time of recording this video and shooting these frames, because it was about a couple of weeks before the official announcement of the new Noctilux 35mm. And you see, first of all, this is a beautiful spot. So we have some farmhouses here, and we have them here. And then we have here the causeway over Lake Zurich towards Rapperswil. And here in the background, you see the tiny little castle of that beautiful small village here. And you see nicely rendered all the light trails over that causeway here. And also on the street here, for instance, look at that, looks really cool. 3-second exposure. Here, kind of a slightly shifted perspective, 4-second exposure. And again, everything is crisp, sharp, nice. If you look at the buildings where you can get a bit closer here, nice contrast, micro contrast. Look at the forest in the different tonalities here. Look at that island with the small buildings. Everything looks really good. Still f5.6, 4-second exposure. I will keep shooting at base ISO of 64. Here now a 6-second exposure, and also here nothing but goodness. This is really cool how the lens is rendering the scene in front of the camera. The light is falling towards the very capable M11-P sensor. Here a shot straight over the lake. Look at the small village here. Very nice. Look at that. I'm not sure if I have ever seen Leica images, and they are always terrific, which are so good. And f5.6, I'm pretty sure, is kind of the sweet spot of that new Noctilux 35mm. Look at the reflections here in the water of the waterfront buildings. Just beautiful. I really like it. 7 seconds. And then here, let me skip this one, although the island is here nicely set in scene, with this church, small church, couple of small buildings here. And look here, this small boat here with water reflections. Based on a longer exposure, the water becomes a bit more calm. And then here, this one I skip. This is the one I wanted to show. Here I was basically doing a panorama stitching, and this has now 15.4K times 5.9K pixels. And it is a beautiful rendering of Lake Zurich in this particular region here. Very nice. Starting from here on the side, look at all the buildings here. Look again at the reflections on the waterfront on the opposite side of Lake Zurich. Look here, everything is there. Look how the forest is rendered. Beautiful. That island, the small ship here resting in the water, and then here beautiful light reflections in the water from the village here, and then the castle in Rapperswil and the causeway basically bridging Lake Zurich here on a smaller passage. Very, very nice. Also, the nearby buildings look really good. This is really top-notch image quality, and I never had any doubts that my Leica M11-P can and will deliver this. But with the new Noctilux 35mm shot at f5.6, remember that aperture, that's for sure the sweet spot. Really delivers the best Leica can deliver here. This is really cool. Here now 15 seconds, and I think this was shot at an f8. I really wanted to get exposure longer, and this gives me these nice beautiful light trails here in red across the road. Look at that. Cars passing by, and you get these beautiful light trails again over the causeway. Just nice. And this is kind of turning the camera towards the other side of the lake, and here at the far horizon you see indicated the city lights of Zurich city, and you see here Mount Uetliberg. You even see the tower here indicated. There is so much detail in these images and such a nice contrast, micro contrast, coming from that lens and then rendered through the lens onto this very capable 60 megapixel triple resolution sensor, I should say, to be fully complete in my description of the sensor. And this all looks really, really good. Then here shooting, basically turning from first pointing the camera over the lake, then turning it by rotating it by 90 degrees in the horizontal plane. We get here towards the direction where the sunset was just happening, and here looking to that image, look at that. This all looks really, really good. I like it. It's really a fabulous lens. And here again, the same shot, just crossing the lake. 30 seconds now. If exposures get longer, you capture a bit more light. You need to reduce the highlights a bit in post-processing, but this looks all really good. Then here again, getting darker. You see it now in the atmosphere over the lake here, getting really dark. 30 seconds, and this is shot at an f11, is the metadata saying. I'm not sure. I really stopped down. I thought I was shooting mainly with f5.6 and f8, but maybe this was an f11. The camera is only second guessing because the aperture setting on the lens is not carried over into the metadata in the camera. And of course, still base ISO 64. Look at that. This looks just good. And drop me a comment what you think. Look at these details, contrast, micro contrast. Look at the islands here, and look at the causeway, of course, overblown now with a lot of cars, 30-second exposure. And then the other side of the lake here, just beautiful. Drop me a comment what you think, if you think this is as breathtaking, or if I'm over exaggerating here and just getting too enthusiastic about my new Leica lens. And then, of course, I apologize, right? But I'm really, really happy with that lens. The last shot here, again, towards Zurich direction. Here still indicated sunset. And look at this house here. Very nice. Look at an ocean of lights around the shore of Lake Zurich. This is what I would like to call it, an ocean of lights. Look at that. And everything is rendered in perfect quality. Also here, lights basically shining a little bit through the forest here. Just very nice. And here again, some light trails and a very small house here at the street. So this is it. This is what I wanted to show. And again, drop me a comment. Do you think this is as breathtaking as I find it? Let's go back to the panorama shot here, which I really liked. 6 seconds here at f5.6, ISO 64. An absolutely fabulous image, and really gives us the best that Leica can offer. All right, I will stop here praising this lens, and let me know your thoughts about that lens. Maybe some of you already have it and also have made their first experiences with that lens. Drop me a comment what you think, and let me quickly conclude the video. All right, this is all I wanted to say and show. In my opinion, this is a highly capable lens. It's a typical Noctilux, and you saw in my introductory video where I basically showed you every single Noctilux I own. I have a lot of them, and I love them all. It's a pleasure shooting them. You have a little bit of distortion and a little bit of softness coming in if you shoot them widest open. In this case here, it's an f1.2. The moment in time you stop down by one full stop, it's getting much, much stronger in terms of performance. But widest open, it gives you this dreamy look, which I showed in my introductory video when we looked into half body shots, portraits, what have you. Beautiful bokeh, beautiful background blurriness. And here now, when I shot images most of the time with f5.6 or f8 in night landscape, the lens fully performed and delivered. If you liked that video, don't forget to drop me a thumbs up. Stay tuned on my channel. There's always more to come. Thanks for watching. Stay safe and healthy. And of course, peace out.